Good morning, you beautiful shit puppets. Welcome back to the First or Last podcast. I'm Brandon. Today we're going to talk about the worst jobs that we've ever had. So, after moving, I don't have a job. I didn't have a plan. It's taken me a good little while to find a job, unfortunately. I've been applying everywhere. I've had a few interviews. Some of them seemed to go really good, and it just didn't work out that way. But I did get a job. I got the job I've been wanting to get for a long time. I would even say it's a dream job. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but had dreams of doing said career for a long time. Um, and it finally worked out to where I was in a position to get that job. Unfortunately, with the good comes some bad. That means that me doing wrestling is probably going to be sidelined, um, probably for a good little while, and that sucks. I've been doing it for 12 years. It's been a big part of my life, but sometimes you have to close the door on something to be able to open the door on something that you want to do. And changes happen, and changes are good. Changes are scary. You don't know what you're going to be getting yourself into really until you're actually doing it. You don't know how much you're going to miss what you're leaving in the past. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I feel like realistically, I've done everything that I could possibly do in the wrestling world for me. I've wrestled for Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I've traveled. I've spilled blood in places that I never even dreamed of going. I've I've met tons of people, some really good people, some really shitty, shitty pieces of shit affiliates. But I don't think I would trade it for anything. I don't regret who I've worked for, other than a few. I don't regret meeting the people that I've met, going the places that I've gone, and I really owe a lot to the pro wrestling world. So if you've ever been a part of my wrestling life, just know that if you were good to me, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you guys down the road in some way, form, or fashion. But that being said, we're going to talk about some really crappy jobs. So I was reading on Facebook as I do, and I saw where a class in Wyoming somewhere, I don't know exactly, but they were doing a parent career day. So the parents were coming in. They were telling what they did for a living. The kids sat around. They got to watch it. It's like a job shadowing almost for kids in elementary school. So, you had your nurses, you had your doctors, your garbage men, chefs, the list goes on and on. This specific class, there was a boy who he sat in the back. He was nervous. He didn't have either of his parents there. His mom's a nurse. Nurses have very hectic schedules, so she was at work. And she told her son that his dad had gone away for a while, and she left it at that. So his dad was not present either. So all of the parents go up. One of them happens to be a police officer. So the boy sees the police officer, and he's seen his dad in a police car a lot growing up. He's young, but from what he's got to see his dad in a police car. So he is under the impression that maybe, possibly, his dad's a police officer. He doesn't know. His mom never really told him what was going on in his dad's life. So he thought what he thought, and his mom didn't correct it or didn't talk him through it. His dad was gone for a while. It happens. So one of the other kids, the police officer, uh, the parent, he went up and he explained what he did for a living. Um, Whenever it came time for the boy whose parents were not there to come forward, he explained that his parents were not there. So the teacher asked, "Well, what does your parents do for a living?" He said that his mom was a nurse. He said he wasn't sure what his dad did for a living, but he had seen him in police cars, so he assumed he was a police officer. So he looked over to the cop that was in the classroom and he said, "Do you know my dad?" He said, "I sure do. I've seen your dad a lot. Know a lot about him." So the teacher said, "All right, well, do you think that maybe your dad would like to reschedule? Maybe he could come in and tell what he does for a living. It would never hurt to have two police officers tell what they do. Maybe their stories are different. Maybe it'll inspire somebody." So the boy says he'll see what he could do. He would talk to his mom. Well, class was out. The police officer stayed behind, and he had to explain to the teacher that the boy's dad was the town drunk. He did spend a lot of time in the back of a police car, going to jail for being intoxicated in public, for multiple DUIs. And could you imagine? That'd be really, really awkward to have your uh, have your dad show up and he has to tell everybody, "Yeah, what I do for a living, I'm uh, I'm the town drunk. I get drunk, I get fucked up, and I do dumb shit. And then the police come, and then I go to jail." That'd be really hard for a kid. And his mom isn't going to tell him any different because why would she? So, going back probably 7 or 8 years ago, I was living in Georgia. I was looking for a job. I applied to a bleachery. Bleacheries, they make like sheets, stuff like that. They run them through presses and machines, and they have different operations to get them out and shipped to the stores wherever they sell them. So I got a job there. It was in Flintstone, Georgia. I was there for 2 weeks, and in my time of being there, keep in mind I was being paid $10 an hour, and they didn't allow breaks. So you had to eat your lunch while working. You didn't get a smoke break. You didn't get to go, make a phone call or anything. You spent your day working, and they were going to make sure you were doing just that. Uh, in my first probably 2 days, I caught the machine on fire 2 different times. I saw multiple different animals come into the building. I saw a cow barge through the door, took off running as fast as it could, and made its way through the bleachery. And all of the staff chased down the cow. We were trying to get it back out. But what can you do? How are you going to get a cow out of a bleachery? You can't just tell the cow, "Hey, cow, get the fuck out." You can't do that. When cows want to do something, they fucking do it because they're go getters. And that's just how it be. And that nasty, despicable place had water fountains and it shot out dirt. So people were getting them a little sip of dirt whenever they decided to walk away from the break or walk away from their machines. I saw a guy lose a finger there, and it was pretty much right away as soon as I walked in. Shifts were being changed, they were changing out stations. People were taking over for people about to leave, and this guy chopped his finger off right in the little machine he was using to chop sheets. Lost his finger. I saw it come off of his hand, and it's just laying there. And this man is running around. He's screaming. There's blood going everywhere. And people are looking like, "What the fuck do we do?" They didn't know. They didn't even try to help. So he grabbed his finger and he put it in his pocket and he took off running outside and he never came back. And can you really blame them? Because how you gonna come back to work with no finger and no help? I also saw a guy, a Hispanic fella. He was riding on a horse, and he came in through the front door, and he walked all the way to the back, and nobody ever batted an eye like he was supposed to be there. And that shit was crazy. He was trying to lasso people and everything, and he was using sheets, and it just not a fun time. But what can you do? You're trying to work, so sometimes you just gotta let men on horses roam through a building while you're trying to do your job. You can't be distracted. You have to be on point all the time. You have to be on guard. You got to keep your head up, head on a swivel. Um, what else about that place? So there was an underground area, and the underground area went back a long ways, and allegedly, I don't know if this is like an old wise tale that they told people to keep them out, but a man went missing and they never found him. Some say that night shift ate him, but we don't know if that's just a myth or not. And all we can do is pray for him.
Hello? Girl, my toilet is so stopped up. I need somebody to come clean out my shit pipes. Do you know who I should call? I'll call them right now. Yes, is this Shitty Bill? Yeah, I need you to come clean out my shit pipes. I'm stopped up real bad, and I need you to come do some magic. All right, I'll see you when you get here. Don't worry, ma'am. I'll clean out your shit pipes real nice. You won't be backed up ever again.
You guys ever worked at a place where there's a bunch of Karens who just take their job way too serious? Like, listen, Linda, we're making tacos. We're not running a government project. We're not dealing with aliens, and we're not handling money like that. People are on their lunch break. They're trying to get a taco. They don't need to hear how you've been there for 12 years and you've been employee of the year or of the month 3 times. They just don't give a damn. Make their fucking taco and let them get back to work. Welcome to Trailer Park Troubleshoots, episode 2. Today we're going to answer some calls. I don't know how many we have. We're going to try to solve your problems, and we're going to start now.
Hello there, this is Mark Greenhorn, wrestling journalist and local podcaster, calling into the first to last podcast for some very important information. You see, I was watching reruns of Sunday Night Heat from March 31st, 2001, and there was a match between Batista and Val Venus before Batista had a dark match when he was in Ohio Valley Wrestling. The reason I'm calling today is that during that match, Val Venus, who, as we all know, used to have a porn star gimmick. Well, you know, he used to take the towel off with the ladies and he'd go, "Ladies!" Anyway, the reason I'm calling, that event took place in Baltimore, Maryland, in the Crab Cakes and Jimmy Seafood and Old Bay Seasoning Arena. At 2 minutes and 42 seconds into the match, There was an accidental belly button explosion by the referee who had an untucked shirt. It wasn't censored at times on television, but if you watch reruns on Netflix, you'll clearly see the referee's belly button is exposed and censored with black and white barring. The reason I'm calling is I want to know, how big is Batista's dick?
Whoa. So you want to know? So you want to know how big Batista's hog is, and you called in and left all of that just to get to this? First off, you need Jesus, and second off, it's 13 inches. Not quite a foot long. You get an extra. And you might need to quit watching wrestling because it's not for you. Onward.
Don't give no names out about nothing because I don't want to be Facebook famous or TikTok famous. I know how y'all motherfuckers put this shit on here. But I got a beautiful wife, bro. Beautiful wife. She's pregnant. We got 5 kids already, so I'm fucked either way. Excuse my language. But I got her pregnant, which is cool and fine. But I have this stepdaughter that she has. And man, she's 18 and she looks way better than her mom, and that's pretty bad to say. I'm saying this. I've been drinking and stuff. I got a bottle of Jack beside me right now, smoking a cigar. But anyways, going back to the story, she looks better than her mom. That's bad to say. And I think I got both of them pregnant at the same time. I have a fucking son or daughter coming up, and then I have a fucking uncle daughter or uncle son coming up. And just please call me back. I know you have an ID, call ID, blah, blah, blah. Please call me back and help me out. I'm not going to give no names. Don't look my number up. Don't look my Facebook up. I know you can look Facebook up by numbers. Please don't get my name out. Just help me out, please.
So, what you're trying to tell me is you got both of them pregnant. I'm honestly baffled, really. Somebody's going to have to be a single mom, and you've got to pick and choose. Or you can just keep it all in the family, I guess, if that's your thing. Because I don't know you, but it sounds like you might have been calling from Alabama, and that's a thing there. So those are really your only 2 options you're juggling right now. One of them has to be a single mom, or you keep it all in the family. And I wish you nothing but the best, but there is no happy ending to this story. Um, don't call back. We're blocking your number. You can go ahead with the next call.
Hey, Brandon, it's Cornbread Kenny. I just calling to give you the update what happened with Granny. Well, I tried what you said, and I was blasting that music, and Jesus loves me, and my Savior's come, and all that stuff, and well, it didn't work. She just got hers that much louder. So I tell you what I wound up doing. Like the old saying is, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Now, me and Granny, on a nightly basis, we just get together and we watch her movies there, her little pornos, and I'm kind of liking it. I even learned stuff about my granny. She used to be in one back in the day. Well, anyway, Brandon, that's my life right now, and you have a good day, and I'm sure I'll be calling you back soon with some more problems.
Cornbread Kenny, thank you for calling back, brother. That was definitely a plot twist, sir. But I applaud you for bonding with Granny. Um, I don't think a lot of people would have the courage that you have to join your granny in these charades. And I really hope that this was in her younger days that she was in these videos. And also, I really hope that you weren't watching these videos. And also, if you would have Granny give me a call one day, that would be pretty cool. I want to hear her side. Um, but I'm proud of you for making this situation work. And I hope this furthers your relationship with Granny. And you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. and that's what you did. And you're a problem solver, and the world needs more people like you who are always thinking on the bright side. So kudos to you, Cornbread Kenny. We love you, brother. Um, we don't know you, but we love you, and we hope to hear from you again. We hope to hear from Granny, and we're gonna go ahead and move forward with the next call.
Hey, good buddy. Hey, I got your phone number, and somebody told me that you could give me some really good advice. This is Buck. This is Buck. I'm a truck driver down here in Dallas area, Dallas Fort Worth area, and I got a problem, and I'm hoping you can help me out with it. So I'm a married man, and I don't normally do things like this, but I stopped at the Pilot down in Dallas, Texas, and I picked up this little, she was fine. They called her Dallas Alice. She gave me a hell of a ride. But here's the problem. I'm on my way home now, and what happened is apparently Dallas Alice had some issues. She had these bugs. Pretty sure they were bed bugs, but some of them have attached to my groin area, and I'm a married man, like I said, and I'm on my way home, and I'm hoping that you can maybe give me some advice about how to clear them up. They're pretty bad, and they're like they pinch, and it sort of burns really bad. Uh, uh, but like I said, somebody told me that I could call you, and that you might could give me some really good advice, and 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 I just want to let you know, man, I really appreciate the fact that you advertise for Shitty Bill. Shitty Bill is a hell of a car salesman. I bought my 18-wheeler from him the other day. So yeah, shout out to Shitty Bill. Shout out to Shitty Bill. All right, now this is Buck. I'm going to let you go. 10-4, good buddy. You have a good one. Yeehaw!
And 10-4, good buddy. Thank you for calling, Buck. And you've got yourself in a real pickle, brother. So I have a few pieces of advice or some suggestions, really. So you can either convince your wife that she gave you the bugs, that she put the bugs on your nugs, and it was her fault, and you need to convince her that this was of her doing. Maybe spread some of these bugs around your house, or put them in her panty drawer, and let the rest the rest just happen. Let the rest unfold. Or you can say that you were framed and that somebody set you up for failure. Or you can take your truck, you can burn it to the ground, ram your face into a wall, and tell your wife that you were jumped and that they stuck a handful of bed bugs down your drawers, and they made you walk home naked. You got to burn your clothes too. So those are your only real options. You don't have many other choices. So I would suggest that you blame it on your wife. Or maybe, depending on how your wife feels about the situation, you invite Dallas over. Dallas Alice, I think what her name was. You invite her over, and you and your wife, you get yourself a lady friend for the night. Y'all do your business all three together, and that way everybody has the bugs in the end, and nobody feels left out, and nobody feels secluded or anything, you know. So we try to spread love and positivity, and sometimes you have to do that in the form of bugs in your drawers. So yeah, um, you call me back one day. You let me know how it ended and what transpired after your wife figured out that you had this problem. And we're gonna be praying for you, and we wish you the best in your endeavors. And thank you for calling. Now that I think about it, I wonder what my dad would have came in to career day for, because he's had a lot of jobs and he's had a lot of phases. one time he was a professional pirate, and I don't know how you become a professional pirate, but he was one because he told me. I would like to imagine that if my dad went into a career day when I was in elementary school, that I would have wanted him to tell everybody that he was a professional wrestler because he was. He was a professional wrestler for like 20 years. He's done some cool things in the business. But how you going to let your dad get up in front of the class and explain to a group of 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds that he puts on spandex and fights sweaty men for a living? Could you imagine the awkward silence there would be? I would be getting harassed like, "Huh, your dad's a butt pirate. He's also a fairy wrestler." And that would have made for an awkward experience, I think, because me and my dad both, but we're talking about my dad. He would put on his little wrestling attire. He'd be all sweaty, and he would go fight people who were basically half naked for a championship that didn't matter in front of 15 people. And if that don't scream sketchy to you, then I don't know what does. Another awkward, interesting job that I once had. I think I was pretty fresh out of school. So this would have been like 2014, 2015-ish, maybe a little bit earlier, 2013, something like that. I worked at a video, like a DVD pressing company, but not just any DVD pressing company. I worked for an adult video printing company. So that's right. And guess what you have to do? I was in the position to where I had to watch 20 different, I think it was 20 different video cameras and make sure that they were being, put onto the DVD properly without any glitching or pausing or freeze frames or whatever. And with that, you have to watch all sorts of different adult videos of all different kinds. And you have to actually watch them all the way through. And that's kind of messed up. That's a little questionable. Like, what does that say about me? Like, what do you do for a living, Mr. Oliver? Well, I watch people lay pipe for a living. I watch Granny get drilled for a living. Um, I watch people fire off knuckle children on people's faces. And I did it for a living. You best believe I went home every day and I cranked one out. It was hard not to do it in the break room. I mean, people did it, I'm sure, but I didn't. I was just there watching videos all day. I'd go take a break and sit in the break room. I'd sit with my coworkers and be like, "How's your day going? What kind of videos are you watching?" "Oh, well, you're watching big bald women, big bald women, and little people." It's not a job you necessarily want to have. How do you go home to your family and tell them how your day was? My mom will sit across from me at the table and she's like, "Oh, work was so rough. How was your day?" Mom, I just spent 12 hours watching grannies get their hair yanked out of their head for the sake of film. I just watched Brenda catch one of them money shots to the eyeball. And she's crying children. I just watched a fat guy take a dump on a little person's chest. I make myself sick talking about that. Like, that was an interesting job, and I highly recommend it for everybody to go do at least for one day. See if you've got what it takes. because you work there for a year or two, and you feel like you served in some kind of a war. You're always exhausted and you don't know why. And all of a sudden, one arm is way stronger than the other one. And you got a problem. And you got to seek help. And the person that has to train you, because every job you got to shadow somebody, right? Could you imagine the guy that I'm shadowing? He's just like, all right, click here. Watch this lady take a load on the face. Watch this guy take a dump in a cup. Watch this girl gurgle it. Like, that's pretty fucked up. What would Jesus do? Jesus is watching. You just got to ask for forgiveness. It'll all work itself out. And if it doesn't, at least you can say you had a good time. I think. You guys ever seen anybody have mental breakdowns at work? Because I have. I was working at a factory one time and I saw a man take off running from his station. He's screaming something about a baby mama. And then I see a fight break out. And I see said baby mama jump in the middle of it and got her weave snatched off her head. And the guy that was getting his ass stomped, he saw the weave and he grabbed it and took off running. And he didn't clock out. He just went straight outside and was waving a weave around. And the next day he came back in, but he was wearing a bathrobe and a weave, and he was saying that his name was Brenda. And he was just in so much shame that he had to change his identity so that people wouldn't think he was the one who got his ass stomped. And I feel for that guy, but I think more people should try to be like him because he made the best of his situation. He saw an opportunity and he ran with it. He saw that he could be somebody totally new, and that's exactly what he did. He started over. And that should be a message for everybody. Sometimes it's okay to start over. Sometimes you've got to raid your mama's closet and put on those high heels and go to work because you still got to work. Because if you don't work, what are you doing? Probably getting your ass whooped. I've been sitting at an office staring at computers every day for the last few days, and we're talking like 60 videos that you got to go through before you can get to actually working. Job orientation sucks, but I guess it's something you got to do. I'm really looking forward to getting to start this new venture. I've moved. I started this podcast. Um, Starting a new job. I'm gonna be meeting new people. It's kind of scary, but some things are just they're scary, and it might be life changing. You don't know. You might change somebody else's life. So I just think maybe this is a good thing for me to do is just start over. It's like I'm I'm burying one of my hobbies, one of my professions, one of my loves, and trying to fulfill another passion. And I'm doing that with this podcast. I'm doing that with this new job. I'm doing that with trying to meet new people and make new friends because all my friends live hours away and we all have lives. And it sucks because I remember growing up being very close with some of my friends. Some of them I've known since third grade, and we've been friends up until now. Like we're still friends, but we have lives. They got kids. I've I have stuff going on in my life that doesn't fit them anymore. Theirs don't fit me. And we'll surely make time for each other, I guess. We'll still be friends, but it's just not the same. It's like I've been grown, I'm almost 30, but at this time in my life, it kind of feels like I'm really truly growing up, like I'm leaving stuff in the past that I didn't think I could. Sometimes you do stuff that isn't necessarily bad, but it's almost like an addiction. Like with me wrestling, been doing it for 12 years. Up until this year, last year, half the year, um, I never missed a weekend. Sometimes I wrestled 4 times a weekend. Sometimes I wrestled twice throughout the week. That didn't happen very often, but it happened sometimes. Would travel to Alabama and do a few shows on a Wednesday or a Thursday, come back home, wrestle on a Friday, have a birthday party wrestling show on Saturday, wrestle again that night, go over to another show and do a double shot, um, have a memorial show or a benefit show of some kind on Sunday, and then you come home and you got to do promos for the next week. You got to promote stuff, the flyers. You have to try to get asses in seats, and it's hard. It's really hard to make it in the world of pro wrestling. It's really hard to make it in anything you want to do in life unless you were just dealt a really lucky hand. But I myself was not, and a lot of people were not. So it really sucks because I held on to this dream of mine for so long, thinking that I couldn't and wouldn't let it go, and that maybe eventually I would get to a point where I feel like I'm doing something with it. And then I did. I was doing it. I was doing the travels. I was making decent money. I was selling merch. My name was out there. People knew about me. I wrestled for one of the biggest promotions to me that I could have wrestled for twice. I made friends with real life legends of wrestling. Like their phone numbers are in my phone right now. We have plenty of pictures together. We check on each other on Facebook multiple times throughout the year. Like it's definitely going to be different. And I took this little break and decided that it would be something I come back to. And I started trying to come back to it, and everything was different. Everything was changed. Like my mindset was different. The way I moved was different. And I know age, overweight, I get it. Like stuff happens. But the whole atmosphere and the whole industry evolved so fast. And it always has evolved. And it's been doing it for several years, both in good and bad ways. But I was out of the loop for so long that I don't think I belong in it anymore. I'm almost 30 years old, and I go to a show and I sit in the back with a bunch of people I don't even like. I talk to 4 people that are some of my best friends, and I think I'll probably never see these guys again whenever this is over because we only hang out at the shows. They don't call and check on me. I don't I reach out to them occasionally, but stuff happens. Things get in the way from that. And it's just different. But I know that this is going to be for the best. I'm going to kick the door down on podcasting, and I'm going to do the very best I can for you guys to continue to give you the best quality that I can possibly give. And hopefully, you guys are on board and you enjoy. because I'm not going nowhere because I have a lot of shit to talk and a lot of stuff to put out there for you content wise. So again, thank you to everybody involved with the wrestling stuff. You guys are awesome. You guys keep killing it and keep doing the best that you can do, and I wish nothing but the best for most of you. And the rest that aren't included in the most, I hope that you choke on a bag of dicks because you deserve it.